What is up, handsome men and beautiful ladies of the internet? As always, this is Patrick, the self-proclaimed scientist who has gathered enough data to prove that benching 600 pounds is way less scary than it is talking to women. We've got our breakfast cooking up. We've got about 180 grams of 96.4 beef. Gordon Ramsay was right. Where there's fat, there's flavor, and this has no flavor. And we got that cooking up with 3 large eggs. And, where is it? We've got some tea, Earl Grey, brewing up there, getting me a little bit of a caffeine fix. Because, you know, if it's good enough for Captain Jean-Luc Picard, it's going to be good enough for me. And then we've got this little guy. He's my partner in crime, my little bud, my Pupamere Poopin'. It's a terrible nickname, but I'm trying to come up with more. I didn't name him Buddy. That was the name he had when we rescued him. So I gotta be a little better at coming up with cute pet names for the little gremlin in my life. So first meal of the day is high protein, high fat. We've got beef, we've got eggs, and recently we've just added in a high carb attribute of this meal. And the methodology that my nutritionist uses, because she's a direct friend with Mike Israetel, one of the I don't know if he's the founder or a co-founder, or he's basically the face of Renaissance periodization. And she did a full, I think 1 or 2 full bodybuilding preps with Jared Feather, who's also instrumental in the Renaissance periodization. So the food timing is very important. It's not just macros and micros throughout the day. It's when you eat certain things, because you've got a lot of biological factors going on under the surface, like cytoproteins and stuff. They explained a very little amount of it when I asked, and it was a bit overwhelming. But this first meal of the day gets me a little bit fueled so that I can be in a good position, not spike the insulin too much, be in a good position for training after my second meal of the day, after I take this. Where are you? Buddy. Hi. That little gremlin on an adventure, maybe like 10-20 minutes. But I gotta eat this up. Notice lack of ketchup. I ran out of ketchup. I did not have salsa, so I'm biting the pillow and going in raw. Alright, so here might be... Hi, bud. What are you doing? You think this is for you? You are incorrect. This might be my favorite bit of the day. It's a bagel with a measured amount of honey. And that is... We're at about 50 grams of honey. The problem is the honey likes to travel, and it travels, oh shit, halfway there. The honey travels and gets everything messy, and then my beard feels unhappy because almost there. There's a lot of honey. There we go. The honey travels, leaks off the side, gets all over my beard. Not the most enjoyable experience, but it's so delicious. I just have to make sure to get all the honey out of my beard when I'm done eating. Yeah, this is annoying. So, yeah, the only downside to having a beard. All the upsides are just uncountable. I can't even tell you all of them. I can't even get started. You should definitely grow a beard. So, what do we have going on today? We just woke up. We woke up and we did the cardinal sin of turning the alarm off across the room, picking the phone up, and then laying down in bed. So, I already timed out both my Facebook and Instagram timers, which are both set. Leave it. Nope. Sorry about that. Both of those are set at 30 minutes, so an hour of doom scrolling before rolling out of bed. And hopefully that means the rest of the day will be productive. So we had breakfast, and now we're doing our daily buddy walk, if you can tell by Buddy getting highly offended by a dog behind a fence who barked at him. So after this walk, we're going to give Buddy his breakfast, but y'all won't really see that. And I'll have my pre-training meal, and then we're going to the gym. Gym today is a bodybuilding upper body day. So if you've been watching my, not instructional, but like informative videos on how to go about a lot of the common issues of training, I mentioned that accessories are stretching under a load. So these bodybuilding days where I don't have a compound movement, no squat, bench, or deadlift, basically is a whole day of stretching under various loads. Good boy. Yep. And so it's basically priming our body for the rest of the week. It's almost like a little bit of foreplay before we get into the nitty-gritty of having fun for the rest of the week, because tomorrow's squat day, and then we get a bench day on Thursday and deadlifts on Friday, and then we get the weekend off, I believe. In the past, I've had 5-day training weeks, and for some reason this block we've got 4 days. So I don't know what the difference in the different blocks are, but it is what it is. And then after training, we're gonna eat another meal. We're gonna do some audiobook recording, because that's the occupation that I currently have. Doesn't pay enough. I do have a job interview next month, May 10th, to be a substitute teacher to kind of supplement that income. But from like May to June, only 2 months of that, not gonna be super good. So we've got to find some other kind of supplemental income for the summertime. But audiobook recording, working on a book, currently an 11-hour book. We're about 2 hours into it, and I'm working at a rate of like, it takes me about an hour to do 20 minutes of recording, which is a better rate than I was getting last week. So my skill and proficiency in recording is like, it's getting better. So we're about 2 hours in, so we're about 6 hours over the past 2 days, because I keep getting jerked around and doing other things for other people, and it is what it is. But I'm actually surprised at how much I'm enjoying the book that I'm reading for. It's a weird structure. It's all dialogue, so it's kind of like a script setup where it's like this character, it's like character name, line. Good boy. Yep. Character name, line, and then any sort of narrations in parentheses. And it's really testing my ability to be able to keep characters consistent and come up with new characters on the fly. But that's the hardest part. And like the last book that I finished was a poetry book, and that tested my ability to read with emotions. So it's almost like we're in this skill building arc where we're leaning into the hardest things surrounding audiobook narration. But I've been talking for 4.5 minutes straight. My arm's getting tired, and Buddy is still being a good boy. So I'll see you guys with my next meal. And then after the audiobook recording, we're gonna have 2 more meals, kind of back to back, because the final meal of the day it's just 2 bagels with jelly to kind of finish off the night with a bit of extra carbs. So that's the day that's the schedule for today, and I'll see you guys back with my next meal. Pre-training food. We finally finished off our bag of Cocoa Pebbles, and we've moved on to the far superior Fruity Pebbles. Now, if you come at me and say that Cocoa Pebbles is far superior or better or tastier in any way than Fruity Pebbles, it's okay. It's okay to have wrong opinions sometimes, but don't come at me when your cereal tastes like cardboard mixed with chocolate milk. It's okay to have wrong opinions, just not here. So we've got about 200 grams of Fruity Pebbles, about 12 ounces of Fairlife fat-free milk. So I'm allowed to have any cereal I want at this point, as long as it has less than 4 grams of fat per serving. Because we don't, the way that fat digests, it causes the digestion process to slow down. You don't want that before training. You want those carbs to hit hard. You want them to hit fast. So we've got this, and we've got a protein shake that we're going to chug down, and then we'll be off like a herd of turtles. Let me give you a little bit of sage wisdom for the day. If you want to get ahead in life, you gotta learn how to open up your throat. Luckily, in lifting, where all your successes, failures, and everything rides on yourself, this is what you're opening up your throat for. Not a dick. So today, unfortunately, we have a silent observer, so you guys lose out on 8 minutes of me talking about random nonsense, but we're on our way to the gym now. I'm just waiting for them to slowly make their way into the car. Slowly. Very slowly. I'm waiting. Very slowly. So slowly. Did I mention that they're being super slow yet? Because they are. They're being very slow. Super slow. So I don't like having training partners. Not even a training partner. They're just going to be in the same proximity as me, because very few people can keep up with me. But they're being slow. But now they've finally made it to the door. Let's go. All right, the time is currently 11:42. Just got to the gym, literally on the reverse hyper, as everyone does. We've got NutriGrip lat pull down plus heavier lat pull down, supersetted together, and then we've got head supported dumbbell fly or delt flies, supersetted with close grip hex push-ups. It's just push-ups while your hands are on dumbbells, and then bench, and then something, and then curls, and then heavier curls. So it's a pump day. Let's see if we can't get this done in an hour and a half or under. So no procrastination allowed today. We're gonna be good humans for once. I like wearing a gray sweatshirt because, or not sweatshirt, but a t-shirt, because it's like a little timeline of the gains going about, and it's looking a little nasty right now. But let's look at the pump. We got pretty nice bicep pump, finishing up with biceps. We got a little bit of forearmage going on there, a little bit of veinage maybe. This side. And my shoulders are giving out a little bit because my arms are heavy, and this phone weighs like a pound. Super heavy. It's so heavy, guys. I'm so tired. It's also 1 o'clock. So we succeeded in our time goals, if not overachieved. So fantastical. Good job, Patrick. High five. Yeah. I have no friends. And since Slowy McSlowpants over there is taking so long, finishing up getting my steps for the day, so it all works out. Got like 2,300 steps left. So what it's like to be so athletic that you outpace everyone else. So this day I usually throw in some forearm stuff because it's upper body anyways. Tomorrow's not a bench day, and you don't want to do forearms or grip work before bench day or a deadlift day, and tomorrow's a squat day. But we hammered out grip pretty intensely, pretty aggressively on our previous training day, which was Friday, 2 days ago. And the crushers, we're getting a bit of a intense pump going on, which means that they're not fully recovered yet. So there's kind of two things to consider when something like this happens, where you've got a muscle group that's not recovered from the previous training session. You could lean into it and train it harder, or you could let it rest and let the other things that are going to work it indirectly. But training grip isn't a primary goal right now. I mean, it's not exactly a secondary or a tertiary. It's like a primary plus goal, where it's one of those, if we can train it, we will, but if we can't train it, then we won't, and we're not going to be sad about it because it's going to get trained along with everything else that we're doing. So since we're still benching and deadlifting, they're going to get trained up. Our grip might be a little compromised because they're so effectively fatigued right now that it's going to be negative. It's going to be a negative experience while benching. It might be a little more difficult to hit numbers on bench this week, but we're still going to do it. Might be a little more difficult to hold on to the bar effectively during deadlifts, but we're still going to do it. And if we kind of leaned into the fatigue going on with it, then it'd be even worse, and we wouldn't be able to say, and we're going to do it too, and we're going to do it anyways. It'll end up being, we're going to grind it out and get failure congruent. We're going to be really close to failure, which you don't want. You want to be within 1 to 2 reps of failure. That is because if you get to failure, then it's almost like a cliff of fall off of your ability to recover from failing. So we don't want to fail. We don't want to get too close to failure, but we are effectively training our grip pretty good. It's not actually in the program to train the grip. It's one of those coach kind of explained to me. If you can, good. If you can't, oh well. It's not that big of a deal. So we're just finishing up getting our steps for the day while Slowy McSlowpants finishes off getting abs done. Because I was the fast one today. No, it was just a fast day for me. Normally it'll take me like 2 to 3 hours to get through training. She had squats, so it's like a compound movement. I didn't have any compound movement, so it was just fast. I didn't have anything plate loaded today. It was all dumbbells and stuff, so I didn't even have to consider doing plate math, setting up bars and stuff. It was all just dumbbells. Really nice, really fast. Hour and 15 to get through. About an hour 15, maybe hour 20 to get through. I had to slow down a little bit in the middle there after the incline dumbbell press, which I had to actually drop the weight on that because of the grip being overly fatigued, getting too big of a forearm pump, not being able to recover fast enough in order to effectively overhead or incline bench press. But we're done, basically. We're just getting steps while we wait. So we got our next meal cooking up. So this is a little bit of a cooking hack, and I call it a cooking hack because I didn't know it was a thing, because it had never occurred to me. And if it's a hack to me, it's a hack to someone else probably. And if it's not, aren't you special? But the big angry lady, Brianni Terry, I stayed with her and Joe Sullivan for 3 days, and she smacked me and she said, "Why are you microwaving your meals?" And I said, "Because it needs to get hotter in order for me to not suffer while eating it." And she said, "Step out of my kitchen, boy. I'm going to teach you what's." So I got kicked out of their kitchen, and I measured out my chicken, and she threw it in a frying pan. And I was like, oh. And then when it was done cooking, I put it on my measured out rice with my measured out sauerkraut, and she threw on some Himalayan pink salt, some nice sparkly fairy dust, along with just regular yellow mustard, which has 0 calories. So it's yellow mustard is the best condiment when it comes to cutting or any sort of bodybuilding centered nutrition, any sort of diet where you're trying to reduce your weight, because it has 0 calories. It's just flavor, no negatives other than it just being mustard, and mustard isn't that bad. But she threw all that in the bowl and said, "Eat, my child." I ate it. Mind blown. World changed. I was a new man after that. And ever since, every time I get the opportunity, I throw my chicken in a frying pan. Beef, a little different. No matter how you reheat beef, it's all the same. But chicken, ooh. You get a little bit of crisp. You get a little char on the chicken. Ooh. It's good. As long as the chicken doesn't stick to the pan, you're golden, pony boy. So I'm just cooking this up. I got my rice right there. I prepped that last night, so it's probably a little icky. The bottom's definitely going to be too hard to eat, but it is what it is. Calories in. And I'm about to do some calories out. I'm gonna poop. So while that's cooking. So yep. I thought that I had more interesting things to say, but clearly I did not, so I'm just gonna shut up. Look at that little brownage going on. Look at it. That's what I'm talking about. That's the coloring that you want on your chicken. That's the coloring. That's gonna make your pants a little more moist when you're eating. You don't have to suffer every time you eat. You can come sometimes. You're allowed to come. Alright, so we've got 245 grams of chicken, 400 grams of rice, a glob of sauerkraut, an unspecified amount of mustard, and a Diet Coke. In one piece. Fantastic. So I just recorded about 2.5 hours worth. So my rate has gone from like 1 hour, 1 to 3 ratio to 1 to 2.5. So we're actually getting better. Our skill level is increasing. Things are getting a little more consistent, but it's getting hot in there. Here's the room, right? I'm not allowed to have a fan on because the audio. Well, I'm turning a fan on here because it got hot in there, but it'll show up in the audio, so it's like stagnant air. A little stanky. But I finished a chapter. I'm gonna cool off a little bit, get something to drink, go to the bathroom, and then hop back in there, do another chapter, and kind of rinse and repeat until like 8, 8:30, maybe 9, because I started at 2, so 6 hours would be 8. So kind of like that. Yeah, I'm extra hot too because I was overheating after training today, and ooh, my eyes look very pure colored today. That's fantastic. But I was super hot after training, which meant it was a good training day. A lot of the metabolism spiked, and it took a little while for me to digest the food that I ate before training, and so I wasn't completely digested by the time that I ate the food after training, but I still choked it all down. Pretty positive. So we got all the food. We're 100% for food today, which is a good thing. And I just need something to cool me down. It's just hot. I don't like it. Now I guess that's why a lot of people do ice baths after training for some reason. But this is exactly what you want your body to be doing after training. You want it to be hot. You want that metabolism increase, because that is the processes that are required for recovering from a training day. Because you get all those micro tears and stuff like that. So you want your body to expend energy, which anything that expends energy increases the amount of entropy around you, which means temperature goes up. If you're not a nerd, I've read way too many books on quantum mechanics and stuff like that. I'm probably gonna fill this. So I have that tiny bucket that my gallon is on. I'm probably gonna fill that with ice today. It's finally hot enough outside that I'm gonna be able to use it. Before it was just nice. It was an okay in there, but it's a little too hot right now, and I'm gonna fill that with ice, and hopefully it cools the average temperature of the room down a noticeable amount. Hopefully, probably not, but science says it's something that could happen, or at least it will keep my feet cold. And you've got a lot of capillaries on the arch of your foot. Like, no foot finder yet, but here's some free, like the arch has a lot of capillaries, a lot of nerve endings. So whenever you step on a Lego and it's in the arch of your foot, it hurts extra. And that's the same as your hands. You've got a lot of capillaries, a lot of areas where it goes from blood pumping to the body to blood pumping back into, or blood pumping out of the heart and coming back into the heart. There's a lot of those transitionary points where it goes from being your red veins to your blue veins, and the blue veins are tend to be the blood vessels going back towards your heart. So kind of cooling those areas will cool off your body a little bit more efficiently. And there's been studies about whether or not doing that in training, because you increase that body temperature while training, whether or not that increases your recovery rate while training to increase your ability to expend energy, because you're not going to overheat. You're going to be like in a happy zone. Like, I feel it might be beneficial on meet day, because I tend to overheat, which causes me to puke on meet day. I didn't puke while lifting this year. I also took Imodium, which was a new thing, and it made me have the greatest poop of my life. It's very consistent. So I'll be doing Imodium going forwards every meet, so I won't poop while lifting. And I don't know if it helps you not puke either, but it seemed like a good time. But anyways, I'm gonna stop chewing your ear off and get some ice in this room, cool things off a little bit, almost like a old school air conditioning system that I thought in my head. So we just finished recording for the day. It's about 8:15. Put in 6 hours today in this stinky box. But the book's about 3 hours long, approximately, which is, I just finished part 1. There's 3 parts of the book, and I'm actually surprised at how much I'm enjoying the book. It's like, I thought it was going to be smut, but there's been implied smut, not real smut. So it's like there isn't smut. It's just, hey, they did it, congrats. And it's like, oh, I thought there was going to be descriptions in here, so I guess I dodged a bullet there. And I'm actually enjoying the book, which makes it that much easier to read. There are some points where I have to pause just to laugh because there's a bunch of 1950s language that I was not expecting to have to use. So I guess it's on record that I've said the N-word. But it's like, I didn't say it, the author wrote it, and I just made the sound. Someone please give me a pass. But it's looking like, so it's, the book is supposed to be 10.8 hours, approximately like 11 hours, and we're 3 hours into it. Worked on it for there's 4, 6, 10, 16, somewhere between 16 and 20 hours on it so far, and we're at 3 hours. So we are at a slow pace, but today we got a lot more work done than usual. I left my phone out of the studio. Congrats. I'm doing good things with my time. But it's time for dinner. It's time for me to eat so I can go to sleep and get an early start tomorrow. I always say I want to get an early start, and then I end up getting an even later start. But it's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know. But I'm going to edit this video while I eat, and then cook up my last meal and eat that with an outro for you guys. And then I'll be posting this up, and hopefully I will get to bed by somewhere between 9:30 and 10. So we can get to an early morning, early gym time, early suffering. Patrick happy. All right, meal number... It's a meal. My second to last meal of the day. We've got 70 grams guacamole, 400 grams rice, 220 grams of 96.4 beef. And we're watching Disenchanted. And also, like, not a Diet Coke, because I don't like caffeine after a certain time. And Diet Coke has caffeine, except for the caffeine-free Diet Coke. That doesn't have caffeine, but I don't like to have caffeine after a certain point in the day. It's no bueno. So we got our 2 bagels here. 2 bagels. And yes, there is a buddy there. And he did think these were for him. And because he's a red-bone coonhound, he decided he was going to start drooling because he thought it was for him. He's very adorable, but he does not realize that not all food is for him. And he also started puffing his cheeks angrily at me. Huffing, kind of like a girl does. But I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm scared to talk to women.